Yeah, I don't think I'm getting back to the lodge anytime soon. After seeing some moose in Moose Junction, all I wanted was to finally eat, drink, and go to sleep. But there was a herd of animals that had other ideas for my evening. This herd didn't want to seem to cross the road, but rather they wanted to own the road for a while.
Okay, I have a fear that this one's going to decide that's not working and he's going to use our car. So babe, what are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at not being able to cross the road for a while. That's what we're looking at.
Once I finally got past them, I pulled off and I couldn't resist taking a few more pictures of bison. It was also interesting watching how the other traffic handled this large obstacle. It seemed that those that had larger trucks or those that were locals were a little more brave than us tourists in small cars. While looking at this herd of bison, I noticed something I saw in Africa. Small birds hanging out on big animals, waiting for them to walk through the grass and stir up the insects so they can eat them. What happens to these herds once they leave the protected forest is something interesting and controversial. As in recent years, some of these animals have been hunted or sold to slaughter, while some people believe that they should be protected no matter where they roam. There is also a fear of these animals spreading a disease to and from cattle that comes into play. It'll be sure interesting to see the policies that will continue to police these great herds of bison in the Yellowstone and the Teton areas. After I was through with them, I was starving, but I saw that the evening light was beautiful, and just off the road were a few pronghorns. I would love to get a few photos of them just grazing in the Antelope Flats. I would thought I'd get some perfect shots, but none really turned out like I hoped. After that, we finally ate, and we enjoyed our last night in the Tetons. We awoke, all set to go up to Yellowstone. It wasn't long before I spotted a female elk hanging out on the roadside, close to the West Thumb area. And again, I got to practice the fine art of trying to shoot animals while avoiding getting pictures of cars. We drove on, and I spotted another bison on the Yellowstone River. Since his friend was on the other side, I thought I would wait it out and watch this huge animal try to swim across. It is always a pain when I film these videos and try to take pictures, always trying to do two things at once. Kind of makes it hard. But Puddin was behind me holding up a tree, so I didn't want to interrupt her and ask for help. It was cool seeing the haze rise above the water and from its breath. Up the road at Hayden Valley, we saw the wolf people. These are mostly people with scopes that spend hours upon hours upon hours looking for wolves. And this morning, they actually had a few in their sights. I couldn't see any with my zoom lens and my cameras, but I did my best trying to film this one out of the scope. Oh well. Somewhere out there was a real live wild wolf, a success story for Yellowstone. Up the road just a minute or two was an animal that sometimes gets confused with the wolves from anxious tourists, the coyote. This one was hunting for food, which can include smaller animals like the ground squirrel. One recent study found out that they make a kill in about 1 out of every 3 tries, and that's not bad for a predator. People have to remember, you love them or hate them, predators are always a good thing for the ecosystem, and they have a way of working out their populations, as usually when there's too many of them, they'll starve off. the coyote, another cool canine that calls Yellowstone its home. After all these animal sightings, it was time to take in some beautiful scenery, which, as you know me, didn't last long until I was back on the road looking for wildlife. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Safari Yellowstone. For more information about these animals, read the description below. As always, thanks for watching.